Good morning, my YouTube viewers. In this video, what I wanted to do was I wanted to cover how to read and write and append to files in Python. Most people don't use the Python's ability to read, write, and append files any longer because you've got pandas. Pandas is a library that you can install in your computer and use pandas to do that. And so since people use pandas, they may not be aware of the fact that you can read and write and amend files in Python. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the code to read, write, and amend files in Python. The first bit of code we have is you're going to open the file oring.csv in read mode. So what I had to do was I had to find a small file to do that. So with open oring.csv, r as file, content equals file.read, and then print content. And you can see over here, this is what we've got. We've got the temperature, and then we've got O-ring damage. So basically what it is, it's to do with the space shuttle, and it says what the temperature, how many O-rings are damaged at a certain temperature. So the colder it gets, the higher the O-ring damage. But that's just a file right here. So another way to do is to read a file oring.csv line by line with open oring.csv, r as file. For line and file, print line.strip. So it says remove trailing new line characters. So again, you've got your two lines. It's one line is for the temperature and one line is for the damage. And that's your file orings.csv. So the next one, we have a little file that I made just for this exercise. So open names that underscore ages.csv and read it. So over here you have with open name underscore ages.csv, r as file. Content equals file.read and print content. So this is the content of this little file that I made, and it's the name of the person and their age. And then the next thing that we have is we're going to write example. We're going to write a file. And then so this is just with open example.txt, w as file. File.write hello world, then oblique in, and then file.write, this is a new line. So when you run that, you say hello world, this is a new line. Okay, and the next one we have is we're going to read the file just to see what we've done. And so read example.txt file with open example.txt underscore r as file. Content equals file.read, and that reads the entire file. Print content, and then so again it just reads hello world, this is a new line. So it just prints what you've recently added. And now we're going to add to that file example.txt, appending to example.txt with open example.txt, a as file, file.write, and then it's a new line, appending this line to the file. And then you see here, appending this line to the file, and then we're going to read the file. with open example.txt, comma r as file, content equals file.read. It reads the entire file and print content. So it says, hello world, this is a new line appending this line to the file. So what we can do is we can say, to append it, this is so we're going to save it because you have to save your work. And we're going to try to run it again, even though I've made changes to it. So yeah, so we ran it again, ran the program again. And what we added, this is a second new line appended to file, has come up. So in this particular video, you learn how to read a CSV file and a TXT file. You learn how to write to a TXT file, and it would be the same for CSV as well. And you learn how to append a CSV file and a TXT file. And so those are 3 things that you've learned to do. And also, if you've got like a JPG file, you can also use Python to read a JPG file, but I don't have a JPG file, and I just decided to stick with the text files to tabular data, but you do have the ability to actually definitely read a JPG file, and but I'm not doing it in this video. We're just going to stick with tabular data. But once you get the hang of tabular data, if you have other types of files like binary files, you can look on the internet and find out how to read a binary file. I think the binary files are much more difficult to work with than tabular data because I did Kaggle, and I have done video or audio, not audio, picture files in the past, and they're much more difficult to work with than text files. And text files are always the files that you start with, and then you move on to the video files or the JPG files. So that concludes this video, and the next video we'll be talking about some more Python subjects. So thank you for watching.